So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back once again to the Watch Market Update Show. I am your host, the Big Boss. I am your host. I am your host, the Big Boss. All right, guys? So, you know what's going on. I'm the Big Boss. They call me the Big Boss now, and that's what my manager's telling me that he wants me to be called now the Big Boss, TBB, just exactly like Brit Boy is saying, just like Nelson is saying from New Jersey. TBB. So don't forget that this is the only public service watch announcement channel that does an unbelievable duty for you people out there. I'm not gonna call you sandbags and crumb bums, tomato cans. None of that stuff. This is for you guys. We do it for you guys because you need to have this information. Listen to me, ladies and gentlemen, because I want Alberto, if he's still there. Alberto, if you're still here, let me know so I can do it. If not, I'll continue with the show the way I'm supposed to go. But I want you to see this. If you're there, if you're not there, perfect. I can continue my show in the format that I was going to do it. It looks like Alberto's gone. So, no, he's there. Okay. So I'm going to show you some pictures, guys. I'm going to show you some pictures of what saludos Thurston, of what they're saying. I don't believe none of this. I don't believe none of this, but it's already bouncing around. I'm telling you, the king of watches, they don't play around. They're the ones that, they come in last and everybody's waiting for it. Everybody's waiting for it. And I'm going to show you some pictures quickly so you guys can see what they're talking about that Rolex is thinking of releasing in 2026 over there in Wonders and Watches over there in Geneva, I'm going to show you so you understand. When they do this, one thing that I do believe that they're doing is that they are going to be going the way with gold watches with the Jubilee bracelet. That I do believe. I honestly believe that. But that's just what I believe. I'm gonna show you this watch. This to me is like a champagne panda, with a Jubilee bracelet. As you can see it, it has the champagne and then it has the black gauges and the black ceramic, on gold with the Jubilee bracelet. Exactly. Coño, siempre alguien sale con. I was going to say that, but Mr. Donut said it for me, Tú sabes, there it is, that's the champagne. Honestly, if it's something like that, wow, I think it's very, very, very nice. I am going to take the liberty to say this, that the company that's, has these pictures is a company from the other side of the world, from Europe, And those people from Europe, most of the time I follow them for some years, and yeah, they're from Europe. They don't mess around. They don't mess around. So because if I go back to the last 4 years, everything that they have said it hasn't been the watches, but it's something has been in the dial, it's been on the ceramic bezel, on the Jubilee, and that's one right there. It's a yellow gold with a champagne dial with the black gauges and the black ceramic bezel. I think it looks beautiful. I think it's wow. I mean, you can see the middle of the Jubilee looks nice and shiny. It looks tremendo. It looks very, very nice. That's one of them there. This one is another one. And there was a picture, it was very blurry. I couldn't really. It's this one here. It looks amazing if they do it that way too. It's this one over here. They call this the second generation John Mayer, with the Jubilee bracelet as well. And again, this is from a very, very, very big, I'm not talking about, saludos wicked. I'm not talking about a deputy boxing black eyes, dealership. These people are monsters. The ones that are doing this, they're monsters, monsters, believe me, like they're ahead of the game. The people that have these pictures are the better 100 times. Okay. I like it too. I like the yellow gold. I call it a reverse, I don't know, Panda, Yeah, that's one there too. And then this is another one that they have. This one, I'm not too happy with this one. I'm not, if it is true, I'm not too happy with it. And it's this one here. You tell me, guys, what you think about this one. Here it goes. This is right here. I call this watch the Captain America. This is the Captain America with the blue dial, with the red and white and blue gauges, But the only difference you have there is basically that the Jubilee bracelet, okay, you guys like it? Okay, nice. That's nice then. That's the other one right there that they're talking about. And again, one more time, let me keep on emphasizing that these people, they're not Mickey Mouse people. These people are the ones that throw out these pictures every frogging year, and they basically hit it on the head somewhere. They hit it on the head somewhere. I'm not saying that these pictures are for real. I don't even believe none of this, but I'm just showing it to you because they're going around. Sweet Kid Kino has all these contacts around the world, and even now, okay, you like that, so you like it. That's one right there. And when you see this one here, which I think it's time that if they are thinking of doing it, whether it's, yes, it's white gold. It's white gold. This is white gold. This is all white gold. But you know what? One of your friend subscribers said something. Jubilee as well is a little bit less weight on the gold, and they're still going to charge you a massive amount as it is. So to Mr. Donut, he's right about that Jubilee is a little less weight, and they can put a little bit more pocket change on their pocket. I don't know if you guys know this, but if you don't know it, I will tell you this. It came out back on the air, and it was the same company that's doing this. They were the ones that said this. They said that Rolex in the year 2025. Do you know what I'm going to say or no? Does anybody know what I'm going to say? In the year 2025, remember we said that they sold, they kicked rear ass, they kicked ass, they kicked ass with a $12 million on sales. Well, the numbers have come back now, and they have said that Rolex sold in 2025 $14 billion. $14 billion is sickening, sickening. 14 billones de dólares vendieron. You say 11 billion is a lot of money. You say 12 billion is a lot of money. They say, hey, let's just show the people it wasn't. These people can do whatever they want. Rolex, they don't report nothing to nobody. They don't pay no taxes. They don't pay nothing. La mafia, cojoño. La mafia, no joda. But this watch here that I'm going to show you, I'm rooting for it because I don't think much of the I don't think much of this. I'm not even going to say the name. You look at it. Tell me what you think about that watch. That is a Rolex Daytona Panda with an oyster bracelet. But what do you see in the dial? Saludos, Doc Maker, Florida. That is a meteorite dial. Meteorite dial. Meteorite dial. Just switching everything around, tweaking here and there, The Panda with a meteorite dial. Now, we don't know in this picture if this is white gold. And I believe, to be honest, that's stainless steel. And they're dropping in that Mickey Mouse. Okay, maybe you want to call it the Le Mans. Okay, maybe it's the Le Mans. Coño, who knows? You see that? Maybe it's the Le Mans. Because they're talking big about the Le Mans. They are talking about the Le Mans very, very big. Coño, who said that? Alberto? Was it Alberto who said that? About the Le Mans? Yeah, it could be that. Coño, thank you. It could be that. You see that? I wasn't even thinking that. Yeah, it could be the Le Mans. And I'm telling you for the 5th time, this is not a Mickey Mouse person over there, over there in New York and 47th Street doing these artworks. It's not. They're not. So that is the Daytona, right? And ladies and gentlemen, let me show you something else so you see where these people are heading to. Listen to this. Ready? Boom. Look at this. The Land Dweller in two tones, stainless steel with yellow gold with a smooth bezel. There it is with the chicken coop white dial. The chicken coop white dial, ladies and gentlemen. Nobody brings it better than us, ladies and gentlemen. Nobody. You know, we don't have it nice and pressed. We have it all wrinkled, but it's here. You can see it. You can see it. You know what it is. You know? Okay, dog with fleas. There it is. That is a smooth bezel. Let's go to this one here. Look at this one. What do you think about that one? Huh? That's the 80s. I had this watch in the 80s. Correct. I had the same watch with a blue dial. There it is. This is what they're doing. You know, they're just playing around with us, you know. But like I said, these people from over there, from Europe, more dogs. There it is. Now, let me show you a little more. Okay, that one there. Then they have it, look, with like a little, I don't know what color that is, you know, with members. It comes with a members only jacket. Unbelievable, you know. La marimba, la marimba. You have it in black. It looks like an Explorer, you know, an Explorer. Boom, there it is, Explorer. More money, more money, more money. Boom, the Pikachu, or whatever you call that, pistachio. You know, pistachio. There's another pistachio. FTW membership. Honey mustard doll. There it is. I'm telling you. Ladies and gentlemen, don't get scared. Look at that one. Huh? Look at that. With a fluted bezel. We don't know if the fluted bezel is white gold. We don't know what this is. We don't know. But these people from over there, man, over there, I don't want to tell you the name of the company because I don't want to do that. You know, I don't want to do that. That's nice enough that we got these pictures, you know. The sweet Kikino has that contact. I don't know how he does it, you know. A chicken coop dolls, chicken coop. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to show you something else here. And this is what they're doing too, you know, because they're going a little, you know. They must have had a good sales on this watch. On this model. I don't know, Mr. Donut, what is this, the 1909, 1950? What is this one called? You know, with a moon face. You tell me what this one is, Mr. Donut. What do they call it, the 1909? Well, they got this one. You know, they're showing this. I'm going to tell you that bracelet looks very, very, very elegant. The 1909, okay. It's very, I'm telling you, they must have, you know, those extra $2 billion that they say they sold in 2025, it must have been with this model. It must have been because it's incredible. Oh, it's a 1908. I don't know what it is. 1909, 1908, 1907. You know what I'm trying to say, with a moon face, you know, with a pistachio, you know, little something flying around, you know. I don't know. You know what I'm trying to say. And look at this one here. Look at that one. You know, with a lapis blue. It looks like a lapis blue. You know, I'm telling you. It's a sexy watch. It is, right? It is a sexy watch. And I honestly believe that, you know, that this watch made a, you know, lapis, correcto, lapis lazuli, lapis. And these are the watches that these people are, and let me tell you again, I am, if you ask me, what do you think so far? I think that Rolex is going to be using more Jubilee because Rolex knows already that all you lambones and palomos, you like Jubilee. You know, Jubilee is sexy. Jubilee is more, if you put an oyster bracelet and you put a Jubilee, the oyster bracelet is more Formula One. You know what I'm trying to say? Le Mans, you know, Indianapolis racing. And then you put Jubilee, it is more, you know, James Bond or Tuxedo. You know, please help me out with what I'm trying to describe to you because I'm kind of stupid. I don't know too much about these things. But let me show you one more here. And look at this one. You know, this one I find it to be, you see that one? White gold, you know, black dial with the lapis lazuli, you know, that one too, you know. You see, Jubilee doesn't belong in sports watches. Somebody agrees with me. So, but Rolex knows that you lambones, maybe not you wicked, maybe not you, but people want the Jubilee. How can it be? How can it be that a Rolex GMT Pepsi with a Jubilee bracelet, red and blue ceramic bezel, black dial, costs $27,000, $29,000, and then you get the oyster bracelet. So you understand me? I'm going to give you an example, and you're paying for it $20,000. You understand me? So to them, it's the same thing. You know, to them, it's like, you know, oyster or Jubilee. So that's what's happening with these watches, and I don't believe none of these watches, but I do believe on the people that are sending them around, because to be honest, I'll say this much. Those people have to be very, very little connected with the salute the owl, gentlemen. Salute the owl. Salute the owl. Salute the owl. Throw the owl out there, because I've been punished. I've been punished. You don't know nothing. You know, you don't know nothing. I've been punished. So just to let you know. So there it is. Those are the watches that are happening. You know, you need to salute the owl, ladies and gentlemen, so they will leave us alone. Salute the owl. Put it out there. Salute the owl, papi. Salute. I'm going to drink a little water while you salute the owl, because we have an unbelievable show. As you can see, I show you some nice pictures. I hope that Mr. Alberto from Italia, he enjoyed them, and he has a little idea of what's happening. You know, this is the only show that does this, papi. I beat everybody to the punchline. I beat everybody. The big boss beats everybody to the punchline. They'll be tomorrow scratching their head. This guy again, man, he did it again. I couldn't do it, because we don't do it like them. We don't do it beautiful. You know, we don't take unbelievable pictures, unbelievable videos. Through how? You know, with the camera sideways, you look at it and that's it. You know what I'm trying to say, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, you know all about the Grove. And this is to the Bohemian Grove over there, because I respect them and I salute them for what they're doing in the industry. You know, whatever industry they're in, they know what they're doing. I'm saluting them. Ladies and gentlemen, as you guys know, I have always talked to you about precious metals, and I have to talk to you about this, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to know that precious metal materials are going all the way, you know, to another galaxy. They're going to another galaxy. And I'm just going to start by telling all of you this quickly. You know, the precious metal troy ounce price of rhodium is at $12,000 even. $12,000. That is scary. $12,000 even. The price, troy ounce price of palladium is at $1,874 a troy ounce. You know, no more pigs this Christmas. No more pigs. No more catalytic converters out there. No more, ladies and gentlemen. Palladium, I tell you, was $1,874. Platinum, ladies and gentlemen, again, is getting scary. It's scary. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what the guy in Pennsylvania Avenue has planned. I don't know what, you know, he has with his little lap dog, you know, Marquito. Marquito's his lap pet, you know, in this lap pet, you know, Marco, you know. I don't know what's going on. But ladies and gentlemen, platinum is at $2,375 a troy ounce. And the one that people like to make fun of, they make fun of you people for buying it and putting it away. And you know, talking about it'll go back to $20 a troy ounce and all that good stuff. But me, papi, fuerte, papi, fuerte. Fuerte, fuerte como el machete, you know? El machete. You know machetes? You Google it. I'm not going to tell you. Today I'm all alone. I don't even have sweet quequinos, so today I can say whatever I want. He's not going to be throwing me signs with his hands. I don't care. I'm telling you what it is. Silver, ladies and gentlemen, to all of you. Machete, papi. Machete, the movie Machete. You know the guy with a ugly face. But he's unbelievable actor. Ladies and gentlemen, silver today is at $94.56 a troy ounce. Papi, huepa, papá, con la plata. Mano, Nelson, compra. I said it wrong. I'm not supposed to say that. Just look into silver. That's all I got to say. $94.56, papi. Again, people, you got a bunch of morons. I got un bunch de morones telling you it's going to go down to $20 a troy ounce. And the gold supposed to go back, to $2,000, You know what I'm saying? They call me the big boss, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the big boss. When I talk, I am like that thing, E.F. Hutton, When E.F. Hutton talks, everybody listens. I'm like that, papi. And they already know it. The guy no falla, yo no fallo. I told you, when it drops, don't worry about it. It's going to go back up again. No hay más salida. No hay más and when I tell you what I'm going to talk to you about gold, your hair's going to go blow back and your socks are going to flow off, man. They're going to fly off. What I have today for you guys, you know it, Nelson, you know it. You're not going to believe this, what I have for you guys prepared. I mean, this is going to go again into membership, into the membership collection, so people can go back and look at it, because what I have for you guys is going to blow your hair back and knock your socks off, ladies and gentlemen. And ladies and gentlemen, you're not going to believe this. I can't even believe it. I mean, I do believe it, but I can't believe it, It's big. Wicked, this is big. This is big. Ladies and gentlemen, the troy ounce of gold is at 5,000. The troy ounce of gold, is at $5,300. Una cosa loco, brother. Una cosa de loco. Para que se vayan para el carajo todo el mundo ahora. Para que se vayan para el carajo. A comer pasteles. A comer lechón. $5,300 a troy ounce. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want all of you to listen to me. I don't know if you guys know this, but if you don't know it today, you're going to know it. Diamonds, diamonds, lab-grown diamonds. Lab-grown diamonds were introduced, and they were successfully produced in 1954. Lab, listen to what I'm saying. No sean lambones, para que aprendan de verdad. Lab-grown diamonds were produced in 1954. And you're not going to believe who was the one that produced those diamonds in 1954. By all means, if you want to Google it, you can do it. Right now, 24 organic Watch Channel subscribers and 14 thumbs up. Es un descaro, mano. Es un descaro. Mr. Donas says the Bears. Well, Mr. Donas, when I tell you who it is, your hair's going to blow back and your socks are going to fly off, ladies and gentlemen. It's unbelievable. So in 1954, they were produced. Unbelievable, And it was successfully created in 1954 by no other. Listen to me. They even make engines for planes. Engines. They make engines, turbinas. It was made by no other than General Electric. General Electric produced the lab-grown diamond in 1954. 1954. Researchers were using high pressure, high temperature, HPHT. I don't know what that means. It's a method. It's a method they were using back then in 1954. 54. In 1954, they were doing the lab-grown diamonds, and they were doing it by who? By General Electric, man. General Electric, the boss. And then in 1970, because they jumped from 54 all the way to 70, General Electric developed the first gem quality synthetic diamond, though they were not yet commercially valuable for jewelry. It was already there. En el 70, 54, 1970, General Electric. Then we go to the 1980s, ladies and gentlemen. Don't worry about it. I'm getting somewhere with this so you understand where I'm going. Should I give you guys a hint? Or you guys know the hint already? You don't, right? And then they go into the 1980s, ladies and gentlemen. Developments of the chemical vapor deposition. They call it CVD, like, CVD, VD, like venereal disease, CVD, they had this, deposition, and its technology allowed for more cost-effective production. That was in the 80s. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to take you to the year 2000s. To the 2000s now. Papi, la época tuya, the 2000s. Coño, Alberto, you're still here. Coño, Alberto. Alberto, I can't believe you're still here. Te interesó esto. You were intrigued with this. You were intrigued. In the year 2000, which is the present, advancements in technology made large, high-quality, and affordable diamonds for jewelry, leading to widespread commercial availability. The Federal Commission, they had a stand-in, the FTC. I don't know, you guys help me out with those letters. FTC. Officially, listen to this para que se le paran los pelos de punta. The FTC, papi, la federación, los magnates, the Trade Commission, they're the ones, they say, esto es lo que hay. Hear me out. Oye, dame un vaso de agua, coño. The FTC. Exactly, coño, ¿quién dijo eso? Brand, you hearing me, Brand? You hearing me? I know you hearing me, papi. Tú eres uno de los míos, Brand. Tú eres uno de los míos. The FTC, they say, hold on, move out the way. Get out the way, move out the way, get out the way. They're not like us. All the way up. Get out the way. The FTC, get out the way. And ladies and gentlemen, the FTC, they didn't have nothing else to say. They had to say the truth. The Federal Commission, the FTC, officially recognized lab-grown diamonds as real diamonds. Did you hear that? They had to get involved and say, this is real diamonds y más nada. Today, you have a real diamond that'll cost you, a 5-carat diamond that'll cost you a real, like, mine, in la mina, in the mine, it'll cost you $150,000. And then you have that diamond that the FTC recognized as real diamond. You're not going to believe this, ladies and gentlemen. They possess the same physical, chemically, and optical properties as mined diamonds. The FTC, real diamonds, papi. A real mined diamond will cost you $150,000, 5 carats, and a lab diamond will cost you, $10,000. $10,000, it does the same thing. It shines like a diamond. That song that lady sings, that girl over there from Barbados, it shines like a diamond. Shine, I forgot. She's over there from Barbados. She sings. It shines. She says that it shines. It shines. It doesn't have no imperfections. It shines like a diamond. What I give for you guys, what I give for you guys for free, for free, for free. And wait till the punchline. The punchline is coming now. So let's get out of that, you know? So you already know that you get a $150,000 mine diamond and you get a lab-grown diamond, 5 carats, even more perfect than the mine diamond. Even more perfect, $10,000. 10,000 lab-grown, 150 mined. You know what I'm saying? Perfect. We got that out of the way. But ladies and gentlemen, we have something else that has just come out. And it's all over the place because gold is going all the way to the moon. Because gold is going all the way to the moon, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, we have something that is called lab-grown gold. Lab-grown gold. Papi, what they're doing with this gold is unbelievable. It's cutting edge. It's on laboratories. It's lab grown. It's rapidly, entering the jewelry market and blazing and blazing and blazing and blazing. It does the same thing. The same thing, Papi. It's, when you hear about what's happening with this lab gold, you go, oh my God. This is crazy what they're doing. What they're doing, the people from India, what they're doing, listen, it's scary. It's scary what is happening with the lab-grown gold. It's not out there already, but we're talking about, I just gave you the scenario of lab-grown diamonds from 1954, General Electric. 1970, the 80s, 2000, FTC came and said, Papi, esto es la misma mierda. It's the same diamond. It's as strong as the diamond. It scratches. It does what it cuts. It does everything as a diamond. You know? Somebody wrote down something here that the United States already, Papi, we're doing, we can, Papi, we can clone Mr. Donut. We can clone Mr. Donut exactly. And ladies and gentlemen, that's exactly where I'm going. Mr. Brand said that. And that's what they're talking about. They're talking about lab-grown gold on Rolex watches, on Patek watches. You understand me what they're talking about? Because gold, real gold, mine gold is going all the way to the galaxy. You know? You understand me? You know what can clone you. I'm telling you what's going on, ladies and gentlemen. And the people who are on the front line with this, do you know what country it is? Do you know what country it is, the one there in the front line with gold? Only the rich are going to be able to have the real mine gold. But do you know who are the ones they're telling, hey, man, you need to do something? Okay, you said China. Go ahead. Give me one more. It ain't China. Give me one more. Give me one more who they're saying, hey, man, you got to get in front of this with the lab-grown gold. Coño, ahí está, papá, brother. Ya está. Ahí está. Ahí está. Ahí está. Man, I'm trying to get his name. Dagny, India, papá. La India. La India. He already said it. La India. They told India, you need to, what's going on with the world. La India, ya lo dijo ya, 30 West, he said it. The gentleman, his name is, Wislam, he said it, Wislam, La India. They told La India, you need to get ready with this situation. You need to get ready with this situation because this is blowing up. They already have it already. Ladies and gentlemen, lab-grown gold is chemically and physically identical to mine gold. Papi, that your hair stand up, man. Your hair stand up. When I read you this, you're going to go, coño, el mundo está virado, the world's upside down. Papi, these people can do whatever they want. These people can do whatever they want. All the BRICS countries, exactly. You do whatever you want. Again, it's scary when you hear it's chemically and physically identical. Identical to mind gold. That's mind blowing, man. Mind gold, mind blowing. Okay, that's another story there. People already thinking that gold is going to drop. Okay, very well, Alberto. Muy bien, Alberto. So it's chemically and physically identical to mine gold. But the main difference lies in the production process. Instead of extracting gold directly from earth, through, oh man, this is mining, the scientists are now recreating. The scientists are now recreating gold in controlled laboratories using advanced techniques. And I want you to know, this is not gold plated. It does not have gold fillings. And it's not an imitation. It's real gold. Get the frog out of here, bro. Get the frog out of here. Get the frog out of here, bro. Get the frog out of here. Papi, are you hearing what I'm saying? Listen, it all starts that way. Everything is costs a lot of money when it starts. It's like making a pair of Nike Air Jordans, you know? You got to put in the production line with engineering, with the best masters, the best brains, so it can make you jump real high, you know, and do crazy thing. And then the price drops down. You know, from millions and millions of dollars they waste and spend in technologies. You know, like Rolex with the flip lock. They spend $50 million, $100 million with a flip lock. And then they sell it to you. No, papi, no me hables así. Don't talk to me that way. Don't talk to me that way. Let me drink a little water here. It's the same thing as gold. Papi, you know what I read? Because I read this thing backwards in the bathroom. When I was in the bathroom, I read the whole thing. You know, you take it with acid and you scratch it like that, and you pass the acid, it's come back as gold. Gold. It comes back as gold. Papi, what these people are doing is unbelievable. Okay? You know, and that gentleman said the truth. He said, but it costs more. Yes, it's cost because la tecnología, lo científico, Dr. Kevorkian. You know Dr. Kevorkian? He's there. Dr. Kevorkian is in there, you know, in there, you know. You know, Frankenstein is in there. The mad scientists are there. Esto es una locura lo que está pasando con los dueños del mundo, with the owners of the world. The owners of the world have it all controlled, papi. They see us as the public, you know. The public, you know, they see us como unos lambones with a sacrifice. Y es increíble lo que están haciendo. You take a gold chain. You take a gold chain that costs $100,000, you know, a Cuban link chain. And you're going to be able to get the same Cuban link chain on Washmasters, papi. Coño, bien dicho, Thurston, papi. Es que they're still telling you. You remember when you would go to Disney World in 1972? You know, when you would go to Disney World and you would see the family sitting down with a big screen TV and they were talking to people on the phone. You don't remember that because maybe you guys weren't even born. But when I went there with my parents, they took me there. When I was 12 years old and I went there, you know, I went over there. It was unbelievable. I went over there and I saw a TV and I saw the family talking to people in the TV and I saw cellular phones, cellular phones. You know, future world, coño, ayúdame en eso. Future world, man, future world. I think in future world is where the right Space Mountain is. You know, Tomorrow World, Tomorrowland, right? And we will come out of there. My mother, my father, my sister Diane, we would come out of there and say, what the hell did we just see, man? What the hell did we see? And I remember, we were driving from New York City, to Orlando, and go to Kissimmee, and Kissimmee was full of hotels, and the only thing they had was the big park, Disney, they didn't have no Epcot, none of these, safari parks. It was just that park. And so we stood in Kissimmee, and I remember the whole night, talking to my father and my mother. I was a child. And, my father would look at me. He would tell me, it's overdone. That's going to happen for real. It's going to happen for real. So people today are questioning if gold is going to happen for real, if lab diamonds were going to be for real. Well, lab diamonds are for real. Lab diamonds have their own customers. Lab diamonds has their own wholesale groups that sell lab diamonds. They thought it could never happen. And now it's going to be a lab-grown gold, and they're going to have their own customers. They're going to have their own, their own wholesale groups and all that good stuff. When is it going to happen? No, I don't know. Maybe you guys can help me when it's going to happen. When is it going to happen? But it's already there, yeah, Bobby. Why is it there? Why is it happening so suddenly excelling? Because gold, real mine gold, silver, all that's going to be, it's going to be all done. It's going all the way up. Up there. It's going to go there. And let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. I was taught very, very young that everything that I'm telling you is allegedly. Allegedly. Everything that I'm talking about is allegedly. I don't want to get a thunder lightning on my TV antenna and the show is going to be over. But I'm telling you what's going on. I'm telling you what's going on with gold. So you guys, and the reason you might be thinking, but Juan, why are you telling me that? Because, we're entering the second phase that gold is going to hit $6,300. And if I tell you, because I said 6,000, right? I'm more realistic. I said 6,000 by the end of the year. Or by midterms, unbelievable. Ladies and gentlemen, do you guys see the State of the Union? Just a question. Anybody see the State of the Union? Unbelievable, that State of the Union. But let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, I honestly believe that J.P. Morgan and some of these Michiganers were saying that's going to hit 6,300. But if I tell you now, some other big dogs got involved, like BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street, what I'm trying to say? HCBS, HCBS, that's another one too, another marketing firm. They're saying it's going to go all the way to 6,000. You ready for this one? $6,900. This is why sit down. Unbelievable. This is why I believe that they're doing this new tech. What is it called? Technology. What is it called? What is it called when these people, these masters? Thank you. Under gold. Gold is going that way. Honestly, somebody's asked me, and I'm going to ask the same question to all of you. Do you think that if that lab gold comes in, would real gold drop down in price? Marcelito. It's called giving you the magic look. Gold will drop. Okay. Gold will drop. No, I'm gonna be honest. I'm hearing yes, no. I'm gonna tell you what I believe. It's not good for the dollar. Probably better. The dollar today buys your nickel. The dollar today buys your nickel. This is shit gold prices to buy gold. Okay, it could be true. All that. But when you start hearing already that, people are saying, well, listen, because if I tell you what I believe, if I tell you what I believe, it's going to sound, I'm going to say it's simple, not to make it difficult. What I'm going to say. I believe that I believe that nobody, I believe that as the years go by and we leave this world, I believe that the only ones that are gonna have real mine gold are are the are the family are the family bloodlines. That's it. That's it. And then let's give these palomos and lambones. Let's give them this lab goal. Bingo! There you go. That's all. I'm telling you today because I said I'm gonna get a thunder lightning when I say this, but I have to say it because nobody has said what I just finished saying. And they're getting, let's get prepared this lab grown gold so we can give these lambones this, and we have all the gold. ¿Tú entiendes? Exacto. Very well said, DJ Smoother. Very well said. And I just wanted to share that with you guys because, all of you, I think all of you are on the edge of the cliff and you don't know if to throw yourself off the cliff or hang in there. I'm going to tell all of you hang in there because gold is going all the way to the moon. And they're telling all these technologies and laboratories, yo, do you have the formula ready? Do you have the formula? Can it shine? Can we do things with it? Can we make rings? Can we make earrings? Can we make bracelets? Can we make watches? Is it going to fall apart? And they're telling you, bro, it's not gold filled. It's not gold plated. It's not an imitation. It's real gold. Probably when they tell you that it's real gold, that is crazy. It's crazy. They're using today lab-grown diamonds on your favorite watches, on your favorite bracelets, on your favorite necklace. They're using that already. So, I'm just telling you what it is. I'm just telling you something that I thought, you guys should know. Maybe you guys, maybe to you is too far, like Tomorrowland, like in 1972 in Disney World when I went, it was too far. But everything that they showed me over there, brother, it came out and more. And more. Because when was I gonna think that today I call Tivoli and La Roma and they're showing me two blocks that I'm gonna produce. I'm gonna put it in production to cut slabs, and I want to see the blocks. We had to get pictures back in the 90s, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93. We had to send a picture, wait for a picture of the block or by the computer. I mean, it was something ridiculous. The way we had to do things, this was the other day. The other day, I had to wait for the picture to come in. I had to sign off. Yes, that's the block I want. They will mark it with my name and they will cut it. Today, you pick up a phone, no picture, forget about pictures. Let's do FaceTime. Let's do, I don't know, WhatsApp time. You know what I'm saying? Boom. You see the camera, you said, that's the one I want. You have the spray can there? Yes, I have the spray can. Put there Monteviso. Put Monteviso, US. Monteviso, US, and put JN. Juan Nieves. Boom. That's it. That's my block. Seconds. Before I had to wait a week, papi, la situación está jodida, you know what I'm trying to say? But, you guys have to understand that we are going through some big changes in the world, and some of us don't want to accept it. I'm going to just say something before I go into the watch market update. I saw something that a gentleman said. This gentleman said this. He said, we are looking for snow shovelers, snow shovelers, to shovel snow, the guy was saying we're looking for people, to pick up snow with a shovel. And you need three things. He said you need three things. And he said you need a license, you need a passport, and you need your social security. That's that guy Mandami Salami from New York City. He's a communist. He's a communist. And he's asking for three things. So you could, Mundami, he's asking for three things. A license, a passport, and your social security, and they will pay you $30 an hour because all the people in New York, they don't want to pick up no more snow. No more snow. So the guy over there from Pennsylvania Avenue and the state union, he said he's a good guy, he's a communist. That's what he said. He said that. And he's saying now that for you to pick up snow with a shovel, you need those three things. But he said, but you don't need. But he says that you don't need no license, no passport, no nothing to go vote, which is a privilege. Even though that we know voting is a sketch. But, times are changing, ladies and gentlemen. The world's waking up. It's waking up. That's all I got to say. I just want to say that. 2 IDs and your social security, they'll pay you $30 an hour. You know what I'm saying? Pero eso es lo que hay, papá. Get with the program. I'm going to give you guys a watch market update. This is a gentleman that asked me for these watches. That he's very interested in buying these watches. And he wants me to give him prices. Exactly. They all need to read it, Thurston. They need to read. They need to read that. They need to read the book. They need to read 1984, George Orwell. Los pelos se te paran de punta. You've been, papi, we've been, listen to me. If I told you this, you're going to say, Juan, you're going bananas. And that's fine. That's the idea that you call me bananas. Some of us don't even know that we're dead. Salud. We don't even know we're dead. We don't even know we're dead. That's how polluted we are. I better get a thunder lightning. Guys, I'm going to give you... Here you go, Papa. Anyway, guys. Guys, I'm going to give you a watch market update. And these watches is from one of our subscribers that he requested these watch models and pricing on these watches. The first watch, ladies and gentlemen, is a Rolex Gold Submariner. It's a black ceramic black dial, yellow gold, yellow gold, 41 millimeter. It's a 41 millimeter. 41 millimeter, and the reference number is the 126618LN. And sir, I'm going to tell you this price, and only because gold is going all the way to the moon, and pretty soon the only ones that are going to have gold are the owners of the world. I said it, I'm going to say it again. Don't pay for that watch more. You do whatever you want. Don't pay more. Don't pay more than $35,000 and dropping. All right? Don't pay more than $35,000 and dropping. You want it full set, you want a full kit. Coño, Brand said, I said 35 and he said 35. Good for you, Papa. Good for you. That is your first watch that you requested. Don't pay more than that. If they're asking you $39.40, you're giving money away. You're giving money away, and it's money that you should save away for rainy days, right? This watch that I'm gonna talk to you guys, he's very interested in this watch. This is a very serious collector's piece, a very serious collector's piece. They made of this watch 422 pieces. 422 pieces, and I don't know what was the longevity that they were doing it, but it was, man, I maybe Mr. Donor can Google it for me, or maybe Thurston, or maybe Alberto. Gracias, Thurston, for the membership. Thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much, Papa. Thank you very much. Gracias, Papa. Gracias. This watch is a serious, collector's watch. It's an AP Royal Oak. It's an ultra thin jumbo. Reference number 25654. The letters B as in boy, A as in apple. Please, somebody Google it for me so you understand. 422 pieces were produced of this watch in I don't know how many years, Yellow gold with a champagne yellow gold dial. It's a perpetual calendar. Beautiful, beautiful watch. Beautiful watch. And you might think that this watch, this is why I'm trying to tell you that, papi, no sean pendejo. No sean pendejo. No regalen más el dinero. No, you're talking about, this is classified as a monster watch. Un reloj bichote, un reloj bichote. You have a serious conversation watch on your wrist, Tremendo reloj, un jumbo, like a jumbo airline, jumbo airplane, And ladies and gentlemen, did anybody do a little searching on it? On the 25654BA? Anybody? And I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, since you guys don't want to look into it, don't pay for this watch, it should be, papi, all the way up there. It should be up there. It should be up there. Hello? It should be up there in the price of, I don't know. I'll say, to be kind, in the $250,000 mark, if not more than that. If not more. Ciao, Papa. Ciao, Berto. But don't pay for that watch more than $93,000, sir. Don't pay more than $93,000. And you want it with all the bells and whistles. You want it with all the bells and whistles. If you don't get it with all the bells and whistles, you don't want it. Look at that. $89,000. Coño, que Christopher comes in swinging, and that's beautiful. Papi, you're right. It's heading in that number. So if you're looking for that watch and they're asking you for $100, you want to know what they're asking him for the watch? They're asking him for that watch $160,000. Full set. And the watch I saw the picture of the watch, and it's immaculate. It looks like it's never been worn. That's how good the watch looks. Unbelievable looking watch. But don't pay more than that. Or pay what Mr. Christopher just wrote down. Pay that. Okay? You do whatever you want, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, our next watch is a Rolex stainless steel land dweller that he's looking for, a land dweller. 40 millimeter, white, a chicken, coupe dial. 40 millimeter. You know the reference number. I don't want to get into reference. But I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, don't pay for that watch, whatever you do. Don't pay for that watch more. Does anybody know what I'm going to tell you? Because I want them to see the numbers you put up there. Does anybody know what I'm going to tell you not to pay for that watch? 22. Okay, 22, Alberto. Anybody else? 28, Mr. Donut. Okay. One more. I'll take one more. Christopher, go ahead. Thurston, go ahead, Thurston. 24. 24 you meant. Okay, 24 you meant. Brand 21. I'm going to tell all of you out there, sir, specifically you. You saw what they're writing down. They're in the low 20s and some of them in the mid 20s. And 26.5. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be honest. I have to give it to Mr. Blair. Don't pay for that watch. Mr. Blair, Ed Blair, don't pay for that watch more than $25,500. That's for you. That's for you, sir. That's for you. That's number 3. That's number 3. That's number 3. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a watch that, again, you have the 1500, the 15500, the 15500, excuse me. You have the 15500, and you also have the 15400. And this watch, the 15400, has been retired. It's been retired, but it has that gray, that rhodium gray dial. That fishing sinker, fishing sinker color dial. Unbelievable watch. A rhodium. You want to call it rhodium? We'll call it rhodium. Rhodium dial, 41 millimeter. And then you have the 15500, and they're out there asking $37,000 for that one, you know. But this is a collector's dream. This is a collector's choice. This is a collector's unit. You understand? It has all the collectors on this one. But it never, it never took off to where it was supposed to go. So I'm gonna tell you, sir, if they're asking you for the price of 39, 38, you're just giving your money away. You're contributing with their lifestyle. You want to see them still eating, that $17,000 steak dinner with the salt. The guy with the salt, that he's bankrupt today. You want to see them eating sushi on you, on your children's tuition money, on your money. I mean, if you want to give it away, give it away, give it away like the Red Hot Chili Peppers, to the UNICEF. Give it to UNICEF, to the homeless, Sweet Kick Kino. You do whatever you want. It's your money. But I'm going to tell you, sir, don't pay for that watch more, and you want it full set. And if it ain't full set, you don't want it. Does anybody know what I'm going to tell you for that watch? Not one person has put a price for that watch up there. Yes. But nobody has put a price on the 15,400. Nobody has put... South Beach. $32,000, okay? $32,000. I'm going to tell all of you, ladies and gentlemen, for that 15,400, for that 15, well said, Christopher, well said, Mr. Donut. One more? Anybody? One more? One more. One more. Here we goes. Don't pay more. Brian, you hit it right in the head. Don't pay more than $28,000 for that watch. Wow, Brian, you took your time, but you got it. You hit it right in the head. Ding, 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 ding. Congratulate Brian. Well done, Papa. Don't pay more than $28,000. Full set, 41 millimeter, 15,400. Gray sinker dial, rhodium, whatever you want to call it. Good job, Brian. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a Patek Philippe Nautilus. Patek Philippe Nautilus, two-tone. Rose gold with stainless steel. The 5980. The 5980 with a beautiful blue dial and new buckle. Let's see where you guys are at. How much am I going to tell you, or that I believe you should pay for that watch? How much do you guys think? This is the Patek Philippe Nautilus 5980, two-tone rose gold stainless steel with a blue dial and the new buckle. Does anybody know? Nobody dares, right? That's a tough one for you guys. I understand. $59.80, two-tone, rose gold. Let me tell you something. I am not a big fan of two-tone watches, but I am gonna tell you, I don't know what it is. I think it's the blue dial with the stainless steel and the rose gold and rose gold bezel on this 5980 that I just love. How's that? I like this watch. I like this watch. It's an unbelievable. Bravo, Christopher. Bravo, Papa. Bravo. I should just give it to you already, Christopher. You're right. Don't pay for that watch more than $113,500. Well done, Christopher. Well done, Papa. Well done. Well done. Well done. You guys were very, very off. I wish I can tell you those prices, but if I tell you those prices, I'm a liar and I don't know how to practice too much the lying game. Ladies and gentlemen, and this is the last watch of the evening, and it's this gentleman as well. This is a Richard Mille. This is a Richard Mille. This is one of the Richard Milles that back in the 2021, 2022, and even 2023, people were going bananas with this watch. But this is a watch because people thought they were driving a McLaren. They thought they were driving a McLaren. They thought they were driving, they thought they were driving a Mercedes Benz GT, a Porsche GT, unbelievable. It was a watch that everybody thought they were Formula One drivers. And then, we had that race that came over here to Miami. They went even more crazy, They took out a Lambo, from the dealership, a Ferrari from the dealership, whether it was, specialty, whether it was the collection, and they went bananas. They went bananas and they wanted this watch, They wanted this watch. And this is the RM6501 automatic chrono rose gold carbon skeletonized. Unbelievable black rubber. This watch, ladies and gentlemen, people pay for this watch over $765,000. This watch had a retail price today. It must be somewhere in 380, a TPT special, TPT and TPT, and all that. Christopher, thank you very much for that super chat. Thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. I know this comes on behalf of all of you. All of you. I want to thank all of you again. Mil gracias. I don't know. Thank you again, Christopher. Muchas gracias. Everybody wanted this watch, and everybody was just going crazy. And this watch has a retail price, I believe, today of $385,000. $385,000. Sir, you're hearing me, right? Sir, you're hearing me. $385,000. And I'm going to tell you, sir, from the bottom of my heart, you do whatever you want. Exactly. Well done, Mr. Dona. Coño, está cabrón eso, mano. We're saying exactly, it's not exactly a 60%, but man, when you hear the number, you go, wow, man, from 760, papi, I know people that bought this watch for 765. They made a bundle of money on that coin, on that Bitcoin, and they bought Hermes bags, Chanel bags for their wives, lovers, mothers, apartment, houses, the red and green and orange Lambos. They bought everything, they bought everything. And then when the thing started dropping faster than who, they went nuts. And they wouldn't sell the apartment. They wouldn't sell the Hermes bags. They wouldn't sell the diamond necklace. They right away, they took off the watch and they said, I have here 765. I know somebody that bought it for 765, and it wasn't the one with the gold push buttons. It was just the one with the carbon, buttons, unbelievable, that watch, and he sold it. He sold it because he got lucky, because he was getting on the last bus. Like Jackie Gleason said, one day I'm going to get on the bus. And he was getting on the last bus. And he got for the watch. He went to the guys that sold him the watch. You know who the guys that sold him the watch were? It was those guys, those, Hindu brothers, the Hindu, with taped haircuts, with logos on their head, they wear hats backwards, like that, all that kind of stuff, they wear hats backwards, they're selling, imagine them selling Thurston Howell III, a $200,000 watch with a backward hat and a taped haircut and thunder lightning, in the hair. You know what I'm trying to say, right? Those guys sold him the watch, for $7 and change. And they couldn't even buy it back for $390. And he shopped it around like a prostitute all over the place. And he got for the watch because he was lucky. He got for the watch something like $335,000, sir. Are you hearing me, sir? These stories cost a lot of money, sir. It's a lot of my time and my energy that I spill out for you guys. But, sir, I'm going to tell you, don't pay for that watch. You do whatever you want. If they're telling you $315, you run to the hills. You run to the hills quickly. You run to the hills. Don't pay for that watch. Are you guys hearing me? I'm the big boss. I've been chosen as the #1 watch market update show by no other than Fudinki. And also, Sachs Goldman, ladies and gentlemen. We're #1, ladies and gentlemen. We're #1. I wish I can say 215. I really wish I can say 215. But I can't. I can't. Ladies and gentlemen, that watch is $385,000, if I'm not mistaken, or it's already broke the $400,000 plus your taxes. As a monster watch. And I'm going to tell you, sir, don't pay. Buy it in the Muppet Boiler Room secondary gray watch market. Be careful who you buy it from. You better be careful. You be careful because, they will wax your sinus congestion. You got to be careful. Don't pay for that watch more than $256,000 and dead. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I really hope you enjoyed this watch market update and you have fun. You learn something. Don't forget to subscribe to this beautiful channel. That we work hard. As you can see, you guys appreciate this channel. I want to thank all of you one by one. Thank you very much for joining me on this live stream today. I mean that. Thank you very, very much for supporting the channel in every way. And it makes me happy because we will continue to keep on bringing you this kind of production, unbelievable production. That came out good production. So again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for all your support. All of you, one by one, thank you so much for being here. Un abrazo a tutti, un beso a tutti, un beso de cariño, un beso de hombre, bro, con todo respeto, Stay cool, stay right, and like me and Sweet Cake Kino say always, take care and brush your hair. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you something. I might do a matinee tomorrow. Take care, guys. Chao, los quiero mucho. Gracias por todo. Gracias por todo. Abrazos. Gracias.